Good evening, students, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to the largest online learning platform in India, that is ptscadexpert. And we are here for the live session of this course, Master Diploma in Revit Live BIM course, which is a combination of architecture plus structure and MEP. But before proceeding with the class, certain guidelines and certain things which I want to share, that how are we going to conduct and lead this session. That is, every day the live sessions will be conducted from 6:30 to 7:30, and the end time might delay 10-15 minutes. That's not an issue. Of that complete lecture, of that complete session, 50 minutes, 50 to 55 minutes will be the complete study part, which will be delivered to you, which will be delivered uninterrupted. And last 10 to 15 minutes there will be doubts and queries session, but that doubts and queries will be pertaining to that particular topic taught on that day and relevant to the topic that delivered on that particular day. And weekly once we will have a general doubt session, which will be dealing with whatever problems or whatever queries or whatever errors you might encounter while practicing the taught sessions. And for that we will have a separate day, most probably on Sunday, so that everyone is free, and on that particular day we will have a general doubt session. Okay, and a little bit about insight of this course, that is Master Diploma, of which on ptscadexpert, if you find, then you will find this, what is this BIM. And also I have just recently, last week, I have upgraded myself, my version, my workstation to Revit 2023, and the download link of that has been pasted here in this particular folder in the word file, which you can essentially download and you can install. If it works on your workstation, then that would be great. Okay, and these are the folders. This particular folders are pertaining to this particular folders are pertaining to the September batch 2022 and December batch. The 2 sessions of this has been successfully completed by me, of which I am the tutor of architecture segment of this particular course, and 2 sessions has been successfully conducted by me. And this particular course will be basically delivered in 3 parts, in 3 phases, wherein the first phase will talk about the basic Revit and its features and functions. The second phase will talk about the parametric modeling, and the third phase will be the visual scripting. So the first phase will be absolutely delivered in complete detail, starting from scratch up to that is from modeling up to the sheet composition part. Everything will be delivered. But regarding the second phase, that is the parametric modeling and visual scripting, you will be given an overview, the detailed reference video of which are in this particular folder. And that was the first session, and all the reference videos and each and every part been delivered in very much detail, and each and every topic being, and each and every segment covered with 2 to 3 examples of particular that topic. Okay, so you can anytime refer to, once the overview of introduction of that topic is given, then you can refer to different examples and while watching this particular reference video. Okay, so this was just a basic about this course which I wanted to share with you guys. And now, without wasting your time, wasting the single second, let's jump into the interface of Revit. So this is the welcome screen of Revit. Okay, and I have just upgraded myself to Revit 2023, and if you are using versions earlier than 2023, then it's not absolutely a problem, because only few functions and few features will be different. Otherwise, rest everything will be same. Okay, so what does this particular welcome screen says? Today's session will be just an overview of what we are going to pursue in next coming 1 to 1.5 or 2 months. Okay, So this welcome screen shows that these two categories, that is the models and the families. Okay, so whenever you open this particular thing that creates a Revit model, the new, and this dialog box will pop up which says that new project, and if you have installed all your libraries properly, then from there you'll be able to access this imperial architectural template or metric, whatever you want, metric architectural template or imperial, one and the same. Okay, and if you just browse to this particular location, if I just click browse, then it will take you to up to this particular location wherein all the necessary files needed to work with this Revit are installed. Okay, so I will just take you to the folder of that, wherein, yeah, this is that particular path, wherein if you just drop down, then this is that particular path wherein you will no, not that, see programs, program data, Autodesk, and under that RVT 2023, and all this files, necessary files, project files, family files, and libraries. Three main bifurcations are there for that particular software. That is, one is the project file, that is the family templates, sorry, not family templates, just only templates. So that are the project files, okay, which has all the list of different files. But we will be leading this course in Imperial system, that is English Imperial, and under that also you have this different types of templates, of which we will be dealing for the architectural segment, this default architectural template. Okay, just like templates, we have this family templates, and family templates are nothing but the family files which we will use for this particular course. And under that also we will go to English Imperial, and you will find all these family templates, which are the template files that are enacted to Revit and part of Revit, which we will use for the modeling purposes. Okay, and the last one is this libraries. So libraries are the 3D components that are enacted under that also Imperial, and all these 3D components which are the part of Revit, and which we are going to use this particular library while working on Revit. Okay, so once you have installed your version on your workstation, on your machine, just cross check that this particular files, that is the family templates, library, and templates, these three folders should have been installed properly and extracted properly with all the necessary files, and then only you will be able to work easily on Revit. Okay, so with this I will say that I want to new, and you can select architectural Imperial architectural template from here also, and if not that, you can browse and it will take up you directly to that same location which I just explained, under that templates and English Imperial, and we are going to use this default, and just open it and OK. So that will open up the project environment of Revit. Okay, so this is the project environment of Revit, and a little introduction on that we have this upper ribbon where we have this several functions and commands, and this are the tabs. These are the different tabs which are part of this interface, wherein we have architecture, structures, steel and precast, and systems. This four categories doesn't belong to the architectural segment and will be dealt by the another tutor and another faculty. And these are the different tabs which we will be dealing with: insert, annotate, massing and site, analyze is again not a part of architectural segment. To some extent, collaborate, view, manage, and modify, and all these tabs. These are the tabs. Okay, and these are the top ribbon and the bottom ribbon, which has few commands connected to it, and these are the toolbars. Okay, so these are the toolbars which are necessary, essential to carry out the modeling process. If any one of you might end up with this particular blank screen, then what the first step, how to load that particular toolbars? So just like AutoCAD, wherein we just right click and we open that toolbars from task toolbars from that. Here in Revit, while opening the project environment, you need to go to View tab and User Interface. Okay, User Interface, and here we have everything, all the necessary toolbars which are enacted to Revit, which are the part of Revit, can be turned on and off from here. So of our use will be this two, that is the project browser. I will just check that, and another is the properties. These two toolbars are the one which you will be using the most. And how to dock them, so that is a bit tricky portion, that how to dock this particular floating toolbars. And you just need to take your cursor and place it just like that until it highlights that, and that is how you can dock it. Okay, and likewise I will also see. So this is the way you can have your two project browser and the properties palette, both of this on your screen on the left pane. You can adjust it your way, it's your personal preference. You can just dock it here as well. Okay, and the first thing after coming to this Revit is that Revit is the software wherein we will work on simultaneously with 2D and 3D, both the interface. So from here, if you just click this default 3D view, then that will open up this 3D view. And I don't know, I'm not sure whether the earlier versions of that or the earlier versions of Revit shows this particular grid level lines onto the 3D interface, but this newer version also shows this particular levels in 3D interface. Okay, and this is the view cube, which is very much handy, pretty much, and fine. And by default in Revit, see, if you just click this front elevation, then by default in Revit the north is on the top, and clockwise if you go see, then this is north, east, south and west. These are the directions in Revit. Okay, so if I go to level 1, then this is north, this is east, south and west. These are the elevation markers. Okay, these are the elevation markers, and you can just drag it and make your workspace bigger if you want, and that too are pretty much handy. Okay, now today will be a pretty much very much basics and overview, a general overview of how we are going to work on this particular platform. And one thing, my request, I forgot to tell you that everyone have a piece of paper or something onto which you can note down your points, your queries, since the initial 45 to 50 minutes will be the uninterrupted session, and so within that it will be difficult for you guys to remember that what all are your doubts and queries pertaining to this particular topic taught on that day. So it is my request to you guys, to all the students, that just note down your points and queries, so that in the end, by the end of the session, once we are done with the session, we can discuss that. Okay, so the first thing is that while opening this project environment, the first thing, and yeah, also I would like to you guys that difficult to remember that every software might have like 25 to 50,000 commands, and the shortcut of that everything, it's very difficult to remember. So also you can, that reference note, whether it is on your workstation, whether a notepad file or a word file or a piece of paper, just also write down the shortcut and every commands I teach you, that shortcut of that. Okay, so while opening a project template, the first step in Revit is to press UN enter. So that will open up this dialog box which says that the project units. Okay, and this is the only software wherein unlike AutoCAD, you don't have to open up every different files every time. That is, this is the only software which has all the three disciplines, that is the structure, architecture and MEP incorporated with it in the same file on the same workstation. Okay, so the project units, and we will be that if you just dropped in down this discipline, then it has various different disciplines, that is electrical, energy, HVAC, that is heating, ventilation, air condition, infrastructure, piping and structure. So we will always be going with this particular common, and under that you have this several different categories. The earlier versions of Revit might not have so much of bifurcations and might have only 3 to 4 or maybe say 5 to 6 of them, but the newer versions of Revit, that is from 2022, there was a drastic change in the interface of Revit. Okay, so wherein this first is the angle, that measures the angle between two lines or the two 3D elements or whatever, between the two objects. So onto that also we have this different gradient, radians and degree and minutes, but we will be always dealing with degrees. This is rounding. Rounding is nothing but if you are using AutoCAD, then in that we have that precision 0.0, 0.00, 0.000. So this is just that. Okay, and this is the cost per area, so that is not relevant at this time. Distance is something related to civil engineers and the road stationing and the work of bridges, and this is also the newly incorporated feature with after Revit 2022, from Revit 2022. Okay, this length is the main sector or the main what do we say, the main unit which we are going to use. Okay, and that has this different options, that is centimeters, decimeters, feet, inches, meters, millimeters, feet and fractional inches, only inches, meters and centimeters, and a lot of them. We will be dealing with the feet and fractional units. And also while working with Revit, one important feature is that you can switch between working units at any time. Anytime you can switch between imperial to metric and vice versa, and that will read all the dimensions perfectly. Okay, so this is for this particular session we are going to continue with the feet and fractional inches, and onto that nearest to 1/4 of an inch. Mass density is not relevant, and rotation angle and angle both are one and the same, and in earlier versions you won't find this angle, you only have this particular rotation angle. Slope is something which when the topic comes I will explain you. Okay, so right now you don't need to worry about all this. I will definitely show you that how to apply slope to the 3D elements in Revit, and onto that also you'll be using degrees and the same, that precision rounding. Okay, speed, time, volume and currency is something not relevant. So this was regarding project units. The shortcut is UN enter. Okay, so the first step after setting up the units in Revit, what we need to do is that we need to go to the south elevation and set up the levels. Okay, so let's say that I want the 2 or 3 couple of more levels onto this canvas. So this here under architecture tab, here is that command. The shortcut is LL. Okay, you can just directly click from here, or you can enter LL on your keyboard, and that will turn this particular command, turn on this command. So there are 2 ways of laying the command. One is that while you hover your mouse onto that particular grid line, and then you can snap to a particular distance and then just snap it, so that level will be created. Okay, and you can just drag it all the way and snap it and lock it. Or else the another way is that you just press shortcut LL, and here is the command pick lines. Okay, and with that you have an option to place the offset. So whenever you enter any command and whatever pops up on this upper ribbon are the instance properties. These are called the instance properties. Okay, so offset, I will say that 10 feet of an offset I want, and as soon as you will hover on that line, that dotted line will show, and just click, and likewise that level 4 is created, and you can go on adding the levels until you want it. Now, how to edit these levels? So just assume that this is the road level, so just take your cursor up till this point and just click, and you have an ability to enter or rename that particular level. So I will say that 0 road level. So this is the road level, and it will say that would you like to remain in corresponding views? So just press yes. So as soon as you will press yes, then that will reflect in all of your plans. This doesn't, structural plans, this category doesn't have that levels added, but I'll show you that how can you add levels onto this also. Right now just follow this. So road level has been created and changed. Now next is that assume that your particular built structure has a plinth of 3 foot. So just say that 1 and say that plinth level. Okay, that is 900 mm, because 1 feet is 12 inches, that is 30 centimeters, that is 300 mm. So 3 feet is 900 mm, and just enter 3 feet, and that will take that particular level down. Okay, now you often might end up creating levels, then this is the mess. So if right now, if instead of 3 foot, if I say that 18 inches, 450 mm, not 18 feet, 18 inches, then you see that this has been messed up, and this is not proper way of representing this. So one thing is that what you can do is that this is under this bottom ribbon, this first is the scale factor, wherein you can switch between scales. Right now it is saying that 1/8 of an inch is equal to 1 foot. You can, as soon as you will go in the upper direction, that will reduce the scale. So I will just press 3/4 of an inch is equal to 1 feet. So this is the scale now, and we don't have a mess onto here. But assume that you need to take the printout of this particular elevation, the south elevation, in that scale only, that is 1/8 of an inch. Then how to get rid of this mess? So you just click this, and you see this particular toggle icon, this cut line, add elbow. It says that add elbow, so you can just click that, and with that you can just take it above, and with that same scale you have your level edited. Okay, likewise I will just enter this to be first upper ground floor, no, not first, second upper ground floor. And the reason of following the chronology is that onto your this particular project browser you will have everything according to the numerics, that is 0 road level, 1 plinth level, second upper ground floor level. If you won't enter this numeric, then that will be lost, and every time you have to precisely look that where is that particular floor plan you want to refer to. Okay, and this is right now showing the height of 10 feet 8 inches, 18 inches, 18 feet 6 inches from this particular plinth level. So I want this to, so see this the dimensions which pops up are this are called the temporary dimensions, which you can edit. So I will just click here once, and I will just enter 10 feet. So that will bring that particular level to 10 feet from 1 feet 6 inches. So that rounds up to 11 feet 6 inches. And likewise all the levels, I will say that 10 feet, and this also to 10 feet. This also to 10 feet. Okay. Now how can you furthermore edit this particular levels? So one way is that you can just click this, and you see this box, that show bubble, then that will turn on the same anatomy or the same text on this end also. Okay, if you don't want to do it for manually for everyone, then just go to this particular thing, and it's under this properties palette. You see that level 1/4 of an inch head. Now what is this? If I change this to no head, then it will become no head. And if I change this to 1/4 of an inch head, then it will become this particular thing. And if I just go to this edit type, this particular edit type, then you see that it opens up this dialog box of type properties, from wherein you can customize this particular grid line. Okay, so with this I would like to add something to this particular topic, that Revit is a bunch and baskets of families. So there are 3 levels, 3 to 4 layers of that. One is the system families. So this is the particular system family, and every 3D element or the 2D element that you host while clicking onto these tabs. For example, if I just click wall, if I go to road level and if I just click wall and just draw a wall, then this, and go to its edit type properties, then this is the system family. Okay, which is saying right now the basic wall. Likewise, if I just select this, then this level 1/4 of an inch is the system family, which is again hosting a different family. So this is not having a different hosted family, but you might come across in next topic only. After this adding levels, we are going to add grid lines, and onto that grid lines we will have the family hosted within a family, that are called the nested families. Okay, for this particular thing you don't have that nested families, so it's okay, but it has some properties which you can add it. For example, the line weight you can change, the color you can change, and the grid line, so line pattern, it does has. So see, line pattern, what type of line pattern do you want? So this particular list are the number of different line patterns that are by default made by Revit. So a particular family, system family, is hosting another family. So this is the different family. Okay, so if that, from this I will just say that I want let's say triple dash. Okay, and just click apply. Then you will see that same changes has been reflected onto this particular grid lines, not grid lines, sorry, the level lines. Fine. And this is the level head symbol, that this particular family 1/4 of an inch head is referencing this particular symbol, that is level head, and that's why it is displaying like this, the one which I showed you. If I just go to say this drop down, and if I select this level head no bubble and just click apply, then the bubbles will disappear. Okay, the particular levels will disappear from this end 2 symbol at end 1 default, and if I just check this and apply, then 2 it will not pop up. Why it will not pop up? Because from herein we have said that level symbol to be no bubble. If I just change this to again circle, and with both the symbols at level 1 and end 1 and end 2 checked, if I just apply this, then that particular levels will be reflected here with that triple dash line you selected and this particular color. Okay, now one thing to notice is that what changes we did directly into this level 1/4 of an inch head, so that you have messed with the system family. The system family, the particular typology that was decided by Revit, the system family, you have messed with it. So what you need to do in this case is that I will just press undo until I get to what it was. And every time you make changes onto any 2D or 3D element in Revit, what you need to do is that you need to go to its edit type properties, and the first point before making any changes, what you have to do is that duplicate that particular thing. And I would say duplicate and rename it and call it PTS level line. Okay, and then with that, whatever changes you want to make, you can make, and by doing that, you won't mess with the family that comes with Revit. Okay, the system family that comes with Revit. Apply and OK. And all of this you need to select, and from here drop down list, now you see that PTS level line is part of this family. And now you understand, just like this PTS level line, these are the two categories that is designed by Revit, which says that 1/4 of an inch head and with no head. And we have defined our new style, that is PTS level line, and all of that will be changes that reflect of the corresponding lines. Okay, now where will you find this particular families? So that is in this project browser. If you just scroll down, then you have this family section, and if you just expand this, then you have all list of all the families which are given by Revit by default. Okay, these are the system families that are provided by Revit, and every new project has that. And with every new project, this particular families will get to its default design. The particular infrastructure with which it is sorry, not infrastructure, the particular mechanism with which that particular element has been designed in Revit. So every new project will follow that. But within the project, if you don't want to lose the families that are designed by Revit, you need to duplicate that. And where will you find this grid lines under? So this is just the annotation part. These are the 2D elements which are the annotation part, and it is not the 3D part. So that you will find under annotation symbols. And if you just drop this down, then don't worry, you will be taught each and everything in complete detail. Just follow right now, and under that you have this grid head circle and grid head no bubble, which this particular line, which this particular system family, this grid line is referencing. See, that is level head no bubble and circle. Okay, and this is the system family which is made by Revit, that is 1/4 of an inch and no head. Okay, so things will get clear. So this is just the first day, so certain things might not get clear at this particular time, but that will definitely get clear with time. Okay, now let me just go to road level, and ZA is zoom extend all, shortcut zoom extend all ZA. So just note it down. And now the next command is the grid. But before that, I would just like to draw a couple of walls, and you don't worry, the topic of walls will be covered in detail when the time comes. But right now I just want to show you the function of this particular command grid, and that's why for that I need walls. I need few walls. So as soon as let me just quickly create this few walls. A couple of horizontal ones, and few of them the slant. Okay, so now as soon as you see in 3D, so that wall has been generated, and if I just select this one wall and say SA, oh no, that's fine. If we are going up to the designated level, Yeah, they are going up to, but that's not important what level they are going up to. What important is to understand this next function, that is the grid line. GR is the shortcut. Okay, so you can click it from here, that is the grid, or just press GR enter on your screen and that will activate that particular command. And this grid lines are nothing but the center line on the face lines that you apply, that you enact to a particular structure when you create the working drawing of it. Okay, but the use of it in Revit is, it has extended its use not only to just placing that grid line, but its functionality to lot more thing that I will just show. Okay, so as soon as I hover my mouse and click somewhere, you see that this center line pops up. So I will just click and lay it here. It will snap to the center of that particular grid, particular wall. And this are the slant lines. So what we need to do in this case is just click to the center of this lines and then click. So as soon as you see it accepts the orientation and still it snaps to the center of that wall. GR, and same line I want to continue, and what is it? GR, wait. Actually, this is Revit 2023, so certain functions have differed. Otherwise, in earlier versions of Revit, it continuously goes on placing the point. Yeah, sorry. I think multi-segment is the okay. Sorry, absolutely sorry. Yeah, so let me just start it from scratch. So whenever you place this particular grid onto the slant walls, so GR enter, and you have placed this, and this is the command, that is multi segment grid, and you have to click on it and then snap to this, and then you will be able to follow that. Fine, and then you just click line, and from there you just snap and OK. So that will create, but it has created a different line, so the number doesn't follows. So I propagate extend, edit sketch, and then I will just click and finish. So that will lay that grid, and the number should follow 2. And likewise GR and multi-segment, and just snap to this point, snap to this point, this, and then line. Okay, and likewise this should also go till here and finish. Okay, so number 3 has been added. Again GR, and this time we have a straight line, so that's okay. It will snap to the center and you can just place it. And likewise I will add GR and few lines onto this horizontal ones, but this time I will change this numbers to alphanumerics. That is we generally do. GR and okay, 2 of them. Fine. Now how to customize this? So again, this particular, just like levels, these are the grid lines, and if I just select this grid line, then again it is a different system family, and that system family is hosting 3 different types of grid lines. That one is by default 1/4 of an each bubble. If I change this to custom gap, then you see that its representation has been changed and it appears different than the earlier one. Let me just turn on the grid, the line weight, and so you can properly visualize. And if you see that this is the earlier one, that is 1/4 inch of a bubble, and if you just see the distance or the spacing between the intermediate lines, and then it is different to this particular line. Okay, and if I just select this and go to 1/4 bubble gap, then that will completely get rid of this particular line in the center segment. It will completely, you will get rid of the center segment, and this grid line will reference lines only at the ends. Okay, so just like we edited the particular levels, we are also going to edit this grid lines and make our own grid line. Again, this is the system family, and I'm going to just edit type and see system family grid, and it references 3 different types, and every type has the different customizations, which I'm just going to show you all of that. And I'll just duplicate this and call this PTS grid. Okay, PTS custom grid, and just OK. Fine. So the first option is that under for symbols, it is referencing these 2 different, that is whether it's circles or no bubble. So for that I will just like to go with circle, that is okay. The center segment in this case is whether you want to keep it continuous, or you don't want the center segment, or you want the custom. If you say that I want this to be continuous, and just apply and OK, so that will have the center segment just like earlier one. But if I just select this particular grid line which don't have the center segment, and if I just change this to PTS custom grid, then now again it is referencing that center segment, just because we customized one of its properties. If I say that none and apply and OK, then you will get rid of the center segment from both these lines, because both these grid lines are now the PTS custom grid lines. I would say that I want this to be custom. So again, within custom, you have an ability to create your own grid line. That is, if I just change this level, this line weight, say center segment line weight, to say 5, its color to red, and the center segment pattern. So now again you have an option to reference whatever you want. I would say that I would like to go with dot, just dot line. Okay, and just apply. So what does it does? What it did is that the center segment is now converted into a line style which is referencing only dots. So only dots are there. Okay, and this is the end segment. So I will just go to edit type and end segment weight. Now the center segment properties are finished. Now we are entering into the customization of end segment. So for end segment, again I would say that I want this weight to be something 6, the color to be blue, and the end pattern to be something hidden. This is the different line style. It is just a line style. Okay, end segment length. But before that I would just apply, and you see that this is the change that it has made. Okay, and end segment length, I would just enter that I want it to be 6 inches and apply. So that will, 6 inches is too much, 0.5 inch. Yeah, so that will expand and reduce the length of that particular segment. Okay, end segment length. Now again, just like levels, it has the option here also that whether you want to display this particular symbol at both the ends, and I would just press check and apply and OK. So now it is referencing this particular grid lines which has been customized by us, and I will select all 4 of this, which is right now 1/4 of an inch in bubble. I will just change it to PTS custom grid. Okay, so all of that has changed, and from here TL is the shortcut wherein you can turn on and turn off the thickness of the particular 3D element or 2D line or whatever element is reflecting. If I just turn this off, then it will just show all the lines in same line weight. Just turn it on, then you can visualize the line weight. Whatever changes you want, you can directly do from here. For example, right now it is dot, and that's why it is not showing properly appearing. I would like to change it with let's say overhead, and apply and OK. So you see that this is having a different spacing, and this line, the center segment, is having a different spacing. Just like levels, if you ever happen to draw this particular grid line which are very much near to one another, let me just change this to PTS custom grid. Okay, and this is near to one another. So what to be done in that case is nothing but here also the same settings, that this elbow, this toggle icon appears, which you can just click, which will create an elbow, and which you can just drag and adjust it according to your preference. Okay. Also, this is right now locked. This is right now locked to this particular alignment. If I just unlock this and change this to 2D, so now you can drag this all the way out till the point wherever you want. Okay, and if not, then you just bring it back to this position, and it will toggle, or it will refer to that particular reference line, and it will get logged and get converted into 3D. Okay, and this is the option of showing that bubble which I already showed. Fine. So this was regarding just a brief introduction to the interface of Revit, the grid lines and the levels and the system families and the nested families and all the properties enacted to it. Okay, so this was an introduction lecture, and that's why a brief overview of Revit has been given by you, that you can simultaneously work in this environment, in this interface within 2D and 3D. One more command, that if you want to see multiple views together, then just press TWT, and ZA is zoom extend all, and with that all this particular views will appear on your screen. And if you just want to see one, then the opposite of that, that is initially you press WT for the tile view, and for the single view you have to press TW, the opposite of that, and that will activate this particular single view. So that was regarding today's session, and now you can ask your doubts and queries related to pertaining to the topic that is taught that day, and since this is the first lecture, you can ask anything, whatever questions you have in your mind. Yeah, so just go ahead. Yes, sir.
Sir, like the units will be imperial only, or can we change it to metric?
Yeah, very good. Good question. So the biggest advantage of working in Revit is right now you see that this is the imperial system, and this is, if I just don't talk about the 3D elements and just the grid, then if I go to modify, then I will teach you all this, don't worry, but right now what my point is to show is that it is referencing this particular dimensions in imperial system. Okay, if you just press UN, and for this length, if you just go to meters, OK, and just click OK, so this dimensions will get converted into meters, UN and length, and if I just say that millimeters, then that will convert to millimeter. Okay, and you can switch between imperial to metric and metric to imperial anytime working with Revit, so that is not an issue. Fine.
So one more question.
Yes, sir.
Like in imperial, we can put in feet and inches. So in metric also, can we have both or only one, like and meter only? Or so what I meant to say is that, like in the system, do we require sorry, do we need to have the whole surface in mm only or centimeter possible?
Yeah, it is possible. It is definitely possible by entering into the while going into the alternate units, but that phase will come when we switch to this particular annotate tab. That is after some 10-15 days or maybe more than that, and that will come later when I in detail I teach you this particular how to edit this particular dimension style and how to have an alternate unit within. So these are the primary
Sure,
units
sir.
and these are the alternate units. You can activate your alternate units and have your preferred dimension. Okay, but that topic will follow later.
So the thickness of walls, are there uncertain default or do we have to set them?
Sorry.
The wall thickness.
That will follow later. Today was just an introduction part and I haven't yet even started with wall command. So that is tomorrow's lecture. Wall is a pretty much big command and it will take some 2 to 3 days to complete. So that everything will be shown when the topic comes. Right now,
Sure,
don't worry
sir.
about the
Thank you.
thickness or anything. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Does anyone else want to ask anything? Yes. One more thing. We have a missed here, Mr. Wasim Sheikh, who is from Dubai, and he is a senior. And with the help, with the interaction of them, with the interaction of him, we all of us will be able to learn a lot. And me myself has learned a lot from him. And he was joined midway in the last session, and he will be with us continuously throughout the course, and he will be teaching us the technical parts of this modeling and everything related to a construction industry, that is AAC construction industry. And yes, Wasim sir, so kindly acknowledge us every time.
Sir, I'm also a student. Don't tell them that I will teach them anything. I will only ask questions or I will clarify things which is related to construction industry. That's it.
Exactly. Teach them in terms of that you will acknowledge me and everyone else and all the students. And just like I have been able to come across a lot of things which were I was unknown to it, and just like all the other students will also have a privilege of that they will be feeded with your knowledge, your technical knowledge on site.
Yeah, being new, mostly are new students, so I would say something about it, because see, I have been in the industry for long, but and I have been knowing about BIM for a very long time.
Yes, sir.
I knew that BIM existed, but we used to still work on AutoCAD. And even when we used to get drawings which was made on Revit, we didn't used to recognize. So what happened during the course of the time, I was working with BIM projects, BIM systems, but I didn't knew what is BIM. So after coming online and with ptscad, I found this very interesting, and it has got a very different interface and very different learning curve.
Yes.
It is a very highly technical and it's a difficult subject.
Yeah.
So मैं सारे स्टूडेंट्स को बोलूँगा कि बहुत ही ध्यान से करें और इसको जो है प्रैक्टिस करें, नहीं तो बहुत मुश्किल पड़ता है. और इसमें लेवल्स हैं बहुत सारे, क्योंकि ये सिर्फ हम जो अभी सर सिखा रहे हैं रिविट का ना, जो ग्राफिकल, सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं है. इसके ऊपर और एक है डायनामो, जो कि और एक डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट है जो कि रिविट के साथ बंधा हुआ है. तो ये काफी और बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग है, बहुत ही न्यू सब्जेक्ट है और अंडर डेवलपमेंट है. तो हमारा सफर जो है रिविट में इंशाल्लाह बहुत अच्छा रहेगा, और हम अगर इस पे मेहनत किए तो हमारा कैरियर बहुत अच्छा बनेगा.
Thank you.
इतना मैं समझता हूँ.
Thank you very much, Wasim sir. And yes, Wasim sir said very important point which I wanted to bring to notice to you guys, that if you will not practice on daily basis, then things will just disappear out of your mind and you will not be able to cope up, and the lag will follow every time. and if you miss one day, day 1, 2, 3, then it will go on piling up and you will go on lagging. So it is my request that whatever is taught, just practice it in a day or two, then only you will be able to come across or face or encounter problems, and immediately the pertaining week जो doubts and queries session होगा, so at that time you can clarify. Otherwise what will happen is that the course will go on leading, because within some within a particular stipulated time frame, we also have a deadline to complete the course. So the course will go on every day, and lectures will be conducted every day, and the course will proceed. But if you don't practice, then you will lag, and it will happen that next Sunday, whenever we will conduct a doubts and query session, then you will be asking about second or the third lecture. So I don't want that to happen. And the doubts and the queries regarding to what taught on that particular day will be attended in last 10-15 minutes, just like today I did attend the questions of Mr. Atul. But the problems which you are going to face and encounter while working on this particular interface, so that will not be attended the very next day, because tomorrow's topics will be covered, and the doubts and sessions pertaining to tomorrow's topics will be answered. So it is my request that just follow some system, some procedure, and just proceed ahead in that direction with that. And also one more thing I would like to ask, that I hope that anyone of you doesn't have any problem with me communicating only in English. I mean, I hope that everyone is fluent with that. Do you want me to have a mix of Hindi and English both? Is anyone having a language problem, was not able to understand or not able to grab? किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है ना, if the lectures are only conducted in English?
Not an issue, sir.
Yeah, I would like to get feedback and answers from other students as well. Rahil, Nargis, Abdul. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it was a very interactive and nice session, and hope to see you every day.
Sir, like you weren't facing any problem when I was speaking, right?
Yeah, I don't have any problem. It's absolutely
Okay,
no
sir.
problem. And whenever you have your list or queries too much, then just prefer sending me that text document in advance, so that I can directly answer to your questions, and you don't have to worry about whether we have any problem or not. You have to think that whether you don't have any problem in speaking. So
No, sir, I don't have any issue speaking.
yeah, okay, then not an issue, but it is still my request that better when you have the list of so many questions to answer, when you want me to answer too many questions, then just prepare a list and type it or in the chat section, or just send me the PDF.
Or I will WhatsApp you.
Yeah, WhatsApp me. Yeah, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so very interactive session it was, and keep learning and keep growing. And tomorrow same time we will meet, every one of us, that is 6:30 p.m. and just make sure that everyone joins latest by 6:35 p.m. because after that you will not be allowed to join the live session, and you will have to watch the recorded session. Well, the only reason being that if I am onto some subjects, and if people will keep joining at their time, so that will distract me from that particular topic being covered that day, and I might have lost the link, and I might forget, because the Revit is a very technical software, and it is difficult to remember a lot of functions and lot of steps at the same time. So it is just a request that please join before 6:35 p.m. Okay, so thank you everyone, and see you tomorrow, and have a nice day, and keep working with Revit. Bye everyone.
Bye, sir. Good evening.